everyone, my name is June, or more commonly known as Nostalgia Memoir on Instagram, and today I will be unboxing and providing my first impression on AGV SportModular helmet. I just got this in the mail a few days ago, and I believe it just got released in the US yesterday or today, this morning as I'm filming this. And so today, to start off, let's go with the unboxing first.
So let's get started. This is the top side of the box. The box is really nice. It has this SportModular name on the side. Again, I think the name could have been better. I think given how premium the helmet is, SportModular seems pretty generic. So it opens from the top. If you open, it has this description here. Came with a envelope. I don't know if you can see this, but essentially, congratulations, you are one of the first people in North America to receive the new AGV SportModular helmet. That's cool, because this is a press release helmet. And then, so this is a top-down view of the box. I've never seen a motorcycle gear packed in such premium way. Everything looks really premium. On the side, I think this is a keychain. Oh, this is a USB keychain. It's a Dynasys USB keychain. I don't know why. Has this box here. I'm not sure what it is. I'll open this in a second. And then this is foam pad on the top, and this is the helmet. I know it's black, so you can't really see it, but essentially there's a handle here, and there is the helmet. Wow, this is super nice. So this is inside the box. Fog resistance lens for your shield, so that's nice. So that's pretty much the box. Now let's look at the helmet. This is cool. So this isn't your ordinary like helmet bag that you get from buying a helmet. Like I said, this is like an $800 helmet, so even the case, even the back comes at a very premium look, premium quality. Cool thing is the bag itself it looks like a shape of a helmet. It's hard case. It's not like a completely hard case. It's still malleable, but it keeps its form, so it's really cool. It has a zipper on the side, so this is a side view of it. So the zipper goes all the way. I'm opening the zipper, and then so if I unzip it all the way, it has the AGV logo here on the bag, and there is the helmet. So this is how the helmet is enclosed in the bag. Oh, has obviously some padding, stickers, instruction, I'm sure. This is a size medium, by the way, and has a back strap as well. Looks like you can carry this. This bag is super nice. I'm impressed with this bag. So far, packaging is awesome. This is what it looks like. AGV, it's carbon fiber. It is so light. I'm gonna do the full review later on, but essentially that's what it is. So obviously it comes with a sticker on the shield. Oh, that is such a nice feeling, removing something like this. Some foam protections. Has an AGV tag on here. It's a medium. Where is this made in? Made in China. That's surprising for an $800 to be made in China, but I guess they kind of make everything. Here is a shield. Here's a sunglass visor that comes down. Ooh, that feels nice. Look at that. Yeah. So that is the AGV helmet. Let me come back to that again. Now let's open this box that came with it. I don't know what this is. Oh, interesting. It's an actual cloth bag. So if you don't want to carry the hard bag, you can actually use this cloth bag, which is kind of interesting. It came in this like really nice box separately. So that kind of tells you the quality of this packaging. So overall impression on the packaging, it is very, very impressive. The best packaging I've ever seen for a motorcycle gear.
So hope you enjoyed the unboxing. Just to kind of show you perspective, the box is so big compared to what a normal helmet comes in. Just to kind of give you a comparison, this is my Bell Bullets box, and this is the SportModular's box, and so you can tell of how much bigger this packaging comes in. So that's kind of the better packaging, I guess, if you want to look at it that way. So this is a helmet, and I got this helmet, like I said, just a few days ago, and haven't had a chance to really test it out. Usually when I review a gear, I like to use it for a few hundred miles on my motorcycle and review it. And so instead of calling this a review, I'm going to call this more of a first impression. However, I did get to go on like a 60-mile ride just a couple of days ago over the weekend, and did use this helmet, and so I do have some opinion and kind of perspective on how this helmet is. Now, if you don't know AGV's helmet brand, AGV is a subsidiary of Dynasties, which is a pretty legit motorcycle gear company. Then it's worthwhile getting familiar with them. They're an Italian company with a very solid track record of making legit high performance helmet. Ranging from MotoGP to Supermoto to touring, and they also even make urban like scooter helmets as well. So they're a very, very helmet specific company. For 2018, the company released this carbon fiber sport modular helmet. According to them, this is the world's first sport modular helmet that's 100% carbon fiber, meaning the chin guard is also carbon fiber. I think AGV could have done better with the name Sport Modular for like a high performance Italian helmet. Sport Modular seems very generic. If you look at their like other helmets, their racing helmets, it's called Pista GP-R and Corsa R, which are like their MotoGP and their sport racing helmet. And they all sound pretty badass and very Italian, but Sport Modular just seems, yeah, like a cheap helmet you would get. So, but I don't know, that's my opinion. So here's kind of a quick overview of the specs. I'm going to go into detail in a bit. 100% 3K carbon fiber shell and chin guard, and so it's 100% carbon fiber. It essentially has the same impact protection as their Pista GP-R, which is their MotoGP helmet, which is very impressive. It has 190-degree peripheral view and 85-degree vertical field of view. It has an integrated top drop-down sun visor, has 3 ventilation points, patented reversible crown pad, one side for cold and one side for warm, and I'll go into that in a little bit. And the helmet, last but not least, and there's a lot of other details, but kind of one that's kind of sticks out is it has an adjustable rear spoiler, and I'll talk about that in a bit. Now that you have kind of the high-level spec, let's kind of break it down a little bit. So let's first and foremost, let's talk about the design of this helmet. The design, AGV Super Modular, is a hybrid child of AGV's like sport bike, sport helmet, and a touring helmet. That's kind of like, if you see here, it says touring and sport. The racing DNA of this helmet gives it a very kind of slick, streamlined look, unlike a lot of the other modular helmets in the market today. As such, I think the design of this helmet provides a lot of flexibility in the different types of bikes you can use on it. This may not be a big deal for a lot of people, but I do care about whether my helmet kind of looks good with my bike or not. And given the very stealth look of this helmet, it looks great on cafe racers like my Thruxton. That's the bike I have, kind of the primary bike I have. And I think it would look great on most upright touring bikes, whether a GS or Tiger or whatever have you. And obviously, it would look great on a sport bike. One thing I'm not a big fan of is the big colorful AGV logo in the front on the forehead of the helmet. I don't know why helmet companies do this. I'm fine with a smaller one in the back, which is kind of like back here. But the one in the front just totally kills the overall aesthetic of the helmet. I mean, it's black, matte black carbon, and there's this shiny logo, colorful logo in the front. I guess some people like kind of the attention of, you know, saying this is a nice helmet. This is AGV's nice helmet, but I don't. It kind of looks like a billboard on your helmet. Maybe if they made it a gray-black version of it, I think maybe it would have been okay, or maybe at least a removable. This is not even removable. It's kind of permanent. The helmet comes in 7 different color schemes, and the one I have is a matte carbon, like I said, which is gorgeous. I kind of wish I had the gloss carbon. I think for carbon fiber, I think gloss looks best just because it kind of accentuates the carbon fiber nature of it. You can see the thread of it easier, but oh well, I think it still look gorgeous as a matte black. Next, moving on, the weight. It is so light. I've never actually owned a carbon. I felt the carbon fiber helmet before, but given the size of it and that it's modular, it just feels weird on how light it is. It kind of feels abnormal. So I'm not really used to it yet. I'm sure I'll get used to it. Like I said, it's a 3K 100% carbon fiber, including the chin guard, so it's extremely light. The helmet comes in just under 2.9 pounds, which is about a little under, right around 1,300 grams. And that's about a full pound lighter than like most standard helmets. Even the Schubert C3, which is their most popular helmet, weighs in at 3.5 pounds, so half pound heavier, but that's not carbon fiber. So if you were to kind of compare apples to apple, Klim Carbon Fibers Modular TK 1200, it comes in at 3.37 pounds. So again, it's about 0.4 pounds heavier, or 1,500 grams to 200 grams heavier. So that is a big difference, because this is 100% carbon fiber, where all the other carbon fiber helmets are only part carbon fiber. Now moving on to functionality, I never understood why all the touring bike riders wore modular helmets, and never kind of saw the appeal of it. But after using this once on a one ride, like a 60-mile ride, I am like 110% sold on modular helmets. And so first, let me go over the benefits of a modular helmet. So this is not specific to the super modular helmet, but just in modular helmets in general. So first and foremost, the modular helmets have the benefit of a full face helmet protection, but can be turned into a 3/4 helmet when you temporarily stop riding, such as stopping to take pictures or filling up gas, going to the bathroom, and etc. And being able to convert into a 3/4 helmet without taking it off is a great benefit, especially like in the summertime, where the moment you stop riding, it gets extremely hot. Be quickly running to the bathroom or going into the gas station to get pick something up or just take pictures, right? And so being able to just lift that up and get that ventilation is extremely beneficial. Now the one part that I most like about a modular helmet is, as you can tell, I wear glasses, and I wear sunglasses a lot, primarily when I ride, and having a modular helmet lets me put the helmet on and off without taking my glasses off. So if you don't wear glasses, you may not know, but if you do, you'll know that is a huge benefit. Now let's move to the ventilation. The helmet has two ventilation, and I felt like the ventilation did extremely well, especially the top side. The air came in very evenly. It cooled my head down very quickly. Now it's kind of winter-ish. It was like 50 degrees when I rode, and so it cooled my head really fast, so I had to turn it off. Or I have to close it really quickly. And the last ventilation is actually on the back. This is a spoiler, and it's more of an outflow ventilation where the air will go out. I'll talk more about the spoiler later on, because it's kind of a cool thing to talk about. But yeah, so the ventilation is absolutely great. The helmet also has a drop-down tinted visor, which can be dropped using a discreetly placed lever on the left side of the helmet. I initially had some difficulty locating the lever with my hand while riding, but quickly became easy after a few tries. I was wearing my sunglasses during my ride, and it was nice to have the option of adding additional tint on demand, so that's another benefit. Now let's talk about the crown pad, the reversible crown pad, which is the padding that's inside your helmet. Crown pads are generally removable in most helmets, which is great for washing and cleaning, but this helmet's crown pad is not only removable, but it's also reversible with a very specific functional purpose. I'm not sure how this really works, but one side of the pad is supposed to be the cooler side, and the other side being the warmer side. So depending on the weather you're riding in, you can change the padding to suit your needs. I'm not able to confirm if this works or not, but I'll make sure to test it out and keep you posted. Now let's go over to safety and aerodynamic. AGV says that the Super Modular helmet has the same level of impact protection as their Pista GPR helmet, which is their $1,800 MotoGP helmet. Now, I think that's impressive, and so I don't really need to understand what all those impact numbers mean. If it's as good as a MotoGP helmet, I think that's good enough. In regards to the helmet's aerodynamic, I'm very impressed. The helmet has an adjustable integrated rear spoiler, like I said, so back here, you can actually, back of the helmet, there are 3 levels. There's a spoiler that actually pops out to 3 different levels. I haven't been able to find on any instruction when I'm supposed to be using the spoiler or how much I'm supposed to adjust it, but I'm pretty sure I would have to be going pretty fast to adjust this spoiler to see any benefit. I mean, the spoiler is supposed to provide stability, quietness, and riding comfort by reducing downward pressure to your head, which is kind of cool. So I really don't know, but I don't think this is something I'll ever use. I tried to adjust it while I was riding it, and it was a little hard to get to. So again, it's a cool thing to have, and it's awesome to say you have an adjustable spoiler, because this is something that you have in like a supercar that gets adjusted. You know, like if you go like over 100 miles an hour, spoiler comes out, provide downforce. So I don't know, it's just cool. Now let's talk about the value of this helmet. This helmet starts at about, in the US, about $750 to about $850 for the colored skin one. For any motorcycle gear, it's extremely expensive, even for helmets, right? Like you can get a showy helmet for like $400 or $500 tops. Obviously, but for a modular helmet, if you're comparing it to Schubert's helmet, which is like $600-700, even compared to that, it's still expensive. So it's expensive if you just look at the dollar amount, and that's not the great way to just assess the value of something. So you need to consider all the factors that I've mentioned when evaluating the value of this helmet. One thing that I always say on my reviews is that value can be very subjective, because an $800 for anything can be a lot of money for a lot of people. For me, it definitely is, and I think for most of us, it is a lot of money. But you know, for some people, $800 is like, yeah, whatever, you know, it's not that much. And so for them, obviously, it could be a good value, but for an average person, I think it's pretty expensive. But again, talking about value, you got to kind of talk about what you get for it. So when I try to look at this from an average consumer perspective, I think there are plenty of factors to make this helmet a good value helmet. Especially if you're looking at a helmet that does all except for on track days, I want to take this on a track day because of the modular chin guard. Other than that, it could pretty much do anything, right? It could be your urban rider, it could be your street rider, highway, long distance rider for use. And so it's kind of an all-in-one helmet minus the track day. And then if you kind of consider that, then this is actually a great value. This is probably the only helmet you'll need for years down the road. And it looks great. It's extremely light, very, very functional, and very, very technical and high quality. So one of the biggest downside of the price point of this helmet is that almost every helmet available on the market becomes a competing option for you, since there aren't many $800 helmets. Probably like 99 out of 100 helmets in the market today is probably cheaper than this. So minus some like MotoGP helmets or like racing track day helmets might be a bit more expensive, but otherwise, like everything else is as expensive or cheaper. And so when you're thinking about buying an $800 helmet, you need to compare pretty much all of the other helmets that you could buy potentially as an alternative to buying this helmet. So that kind of is a downside. Fit and comfort, there are 3 shell sizes. So the shell size comes in 3 different sizes, but obviously the fit size range from extra small to XXX large. I have the shell size in 2 and size in medium. All my current helmets are medium and they fit fine, but in the past when I've always tried them for the first time, they were always tight around the halo. This tightness usually goes away after I break them in, but the Super Modular helmet was surprisingly comfortable at first try. It kind of felt like I've worn this times, I've already broken in. So I did not feel any tightness around my halo. It almost felt a little too loose on my forehead, but not enough to go a size down, if that makes sense. However, the helmet did feel pretty tight around my chin, around my jaws. I think that's kind of normal, and I'm sure that will, after it kind of breaks in, that will kind of loosen up a little bit. So that's not really a problem with me. So before I get to my conclusion, as a disclosure, I did not pay for this helmet. AGV and Dynasties actually sent me this as a press release product for their release yesterday or today, I think, as I'm filming this. And so I had the luxury of not paying for this, which is kind of nice. And so take that as a face value, whether you think I'm biased or not. But I had no obligation to actually review this. They just wanted me to test it out. So moving on to conclusion, and taking into my very limited experience with this, I am super impressed with this. And I am like 100%, 110% sold on the modular nature of the helmet. It's extremely good quality, very comfortable. I think it'd be really hard for me to go back to my other helmets. I have like 5 or 6 helmets that I actually swap regularly, and none of them are modular. All of them are full framed, retro. So like I mentioned before, I have the luxury of not having to pay for this helmet or pay $800 for this helmet. But if I had to buy it, I don't know if I'll be able to afford one. I don't know if I'll be able to afford an $800 helmet. But if I was looking for an $800 high performance modular helmet, this would definitely be on the top of my list to purchase. Because one, there's not really that many other competition. Maybe Schubert, again, is heavier, not 100% carbon fiber, same with Klim. And so at that price point, if you have that money to spend, if you're looking for it, I would definitely recommend that you look into this. And if you have any further questions, please leave a comment and I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. And hopefully I'll try this out. I think this is going to be my primary helmet for 2018, and I'll constantly update and provide another like full actual review once I get to it. So thank you, and make sure you subscribe to my Instagram. Link is below, and you all have a good day. Thank you.